Are you ready?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Across the Line, your monthly Leinster catch-up. Coming up on this month's show, with the last game of the Guinness series this weekend, we talk to Dominic Ryan about a busy few months, a first Irish cap and the Leinster games ahead. We'll speak to Tadhg Furlong and Matt O'Connor on the Leinster School of Excellence, which continues to thrive. We'll speak to new signing Ben Teo on how he finds playing union, Leinster rugby and the disappointment of that debut day injury. All this along with our usual highlights, league tables and previews here on Across the Line. First up on this month's show, we caught up with Dominic Ryan about a busy few months for Ireland's newest cap.
First provincial action was a squad tour. It was a Leinster schools tour in South Africa. So that was a mixture of the under 18s and under 19s, and I was under 18s at the time. So that was my first taste of Leinster rugby. We went over to South Africa and we won all 5 games, which was brilliant. Then I played 18s, then I played 2 years of 20s out of school. Then I played 2 years of Ireland under 20s. Then the following year I played Ireland Day. I was capped Leinster. And then following that, I suppose I continued to play with Leinster, and then just more recently into the Ireland squad. So it's been a gradual kind of step up through the ranks. It's certainly a different environment to Leinster, because I suppose it's 4 provinces coming together, and everyone has switched off from their provincial programs and they're into international setup. So I mean, there's a lot of detail that needs to be learned in terms of calls, moves off the line out of set piece. So there's a lot to be learned by all, and in particular the first 2 days were quite intense. As I said, a lot to learn, a lot to be done, and there's very high standards expected of international players. Yeah, I've worked with Joe Schmidt before for 3 or 4 seasons at Leinster, so I understand that the standards that he expects from his players and the professionalism that he drives in the environment. And I think the international rugby being a step up from provincial rugby, it's important that those standards are driven throughout from the top down. We're back into the Pro 12 this weekend, and hopefully we'll continue good form, and then the Christmas back-to-backs in European rugby can be the turning point in the season. So I think it's important when you're coming up against great opposition like the Harlequins, that you're in the right place. Yeah, it's been a great journey so far, and I think it's going to really benefit my career, from an Irish point of view, and importantly from a Leinster point of view as well.
Next on Across the Line, the Leinster School of Excellence continues to produce exciting talent for Leinster. We spoke to Tadhg Furlong and head coach Matt O'Connor about its importance.
I was in KH at the time. I went up for the summers and I learned a lot, and probably encourage any young kids that like playing rugby, want to learn a bit more, to head along. And stayed in-house, and probably nearly better we did, because we made good friends, had good crack off the pitch, and I suppose I was only a chap going to the School of Excellence. Like, I probably finished up there when I was 15 or that, so I was 18 going into the academy. So the basis of the coaching is there. Probably academy is a small bit more advanced, but it's same sort of training, coaching, yeah.
It gives us the opportunity to broaden the net and have a look, in some of the areas where we wouldn't normally get a lot of our players from, and it provides guys the access to the best coaches, and if we can get some quality rugby players out of that, well, that's brilliant. I mean, the opportunity to unearth guys like Tadhg Furlong and develop the talent in and around that is a huge opportunity for Leinster.
I wasn't used to the level of coaching that they brought, and I suppose training two times a day as well brought it out on us, and look, it was very enjoyable and learned a hell of a lot there.
Yeah, I mean, I think off the back of the success of the women's team and the Sevens program, the women's rugby's thriving in Ireland at the moment, and it's important to continue that on, and if we can help and grow those opportunities for girls and ladies, well, then that's fantastic.
Yeah, sign up, have a good crack, and you won't regret it.
Next up, we caught up with new signing Ben Teo to talk about his time here so far, expectations about taking over from a legend, and that unfortunate injury.
Grew up in New Zealand as a union boy, right through the grades, and it wasn't until I was about 16 that I discovered rugby league. So, you know, in the back of my mind, I always wondered, would I have been a successful union player if I'd gone down that path? And that's pretty much why I wanted to give it a crack. I've been here 2 weeks now. I've had some good training sessions under my belt. Learn all the boys' names, getting to know them well, and yeah, I think I'm settling in pretty well. At the moment, I'm living with the Carneys. You know, they were nice enough to take me in for a week just to help me get settled, show me around town. So it's been a big help for me. Earlier in the first week, I was just in a hotel by myself, so it's nice to have some company and boys to chat with. You know, I had a few chats with some people, and Michael Checker recommended that Leinster was a great place for me to go to learn. Also, and then once I met Matt O'Connor and you know, him being a former professional player who played league and rugby, I thought it was a great mix for me. The European competition really stood out for me. The opportunity to play week in, week out with some of these teams, Scottish, Welsh teams, but also get the opportunity to have a crack at the English and the French. I think, yeah, from a competitive point of view, I think that's a dream, you know, for me to play these world-class players, you know, week in, week out. Like I said, a lot of people have been asking me about filling Brian O'Driscoll's shoes, but I feel no pressure in that, and you know, there's no expectation on myself to play like him or live up to what he's done. Look, he's a legend. I've had experience with this before. When I was a youngster, I went to the Brisbane Broncos and filled in for a legend, Tony Carroll. You know, and I think maybe early on I tried to play like Tony and be like Tony, but I think the best thing is for me to be Ben Teo, you know, and be true to myself and play how I want to play.
Unfortunately, despite a promising start, Ben's debut game was cut short.
Yeah, look, very disappointing. I think, you know, with me coming to a new game, every time I get to train, every time I get to be on the field, it's more experience for me. So that's kind of the hard thing, is that I'm going to miss out on a lot of experience. I tackled a big forward off one of the rucks, and I know what it feels like. I broke this arm twice, so I'm pretty sure I broke it on him, a hairline fracture. And I could feel something was not right with it, but I wasn't too sure if it was broken or not. So I kept on playing, and I think there was about two or three tackles later, I made another tackle and must have copped a knock straight back on it, and that was a clean snap. So I'm back in training too. I had a little break, but you know, with this cast, I can still run, so I've been doing some running. I'm still lifting lower body weights. I'll be doing a fair bit of speed. Obviously, can't do skills for another 2 weeks, but look, I'm just staying in shape. I really can't wait to get back out on that ground and play a bit more rugby.
This month also saw legend Gordon Darcy get his 100th European cap against Cast. And Bank of Ireland Player of the Month awards presented to Dara Fanning for September and Ian Madigan for October. For more in-depth versions of the features and more great Leinster TV content, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also be sure to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. The Champions Cup is underway with 2 games and 2 wins under Leinster's belt in Pool 2. First up was a hard-fought win over Wasps with a score of 25-20 in the RDS.
Ryan has a good run to the line and he stretches out. A fabulous try from Dominic Ryan.
And listen, those breaks come and go. You get some, you lose some. So
This was followed by a 21-16 victory over Cast away, with Ian Madigan providing the scores.
He just said, you've only got 30 seconds left to take this kick.
10 seconds!
Madigan. Well, he works well under pressure.
Then it was back to the Guinness Pro 12 for a comprehensive home win over Edinburgh. With 2 wins under their belt in the Champions Cup, Leinster are joint top with Harlequins on 8 points. Meanwhile, in the Guinness Pro 12, Leinster are up 1 place ahead of Connacht into 5th with 21 points. Ospreys, who visit the RDS on the 29th of November, are still unbeaten and are top of the table with 30 points. There's lots of action coming up over the next month as the Guinness Pro 12 returns this weekend with an away game to Benetton Treviso, followed by a home game with the Ospreys on Saturday, November 29th, kicking off at 5:15. Setting up back-to-back clashes in the Champions Cup, away to Quins on Sunday, December 7th, followed by the Aviva Stadium clash Saturday, December 13th at 7:45. Tickets are available on leinsterrugby.ie. That's all we have time for this month, folks. For more in-depth features, news and tickets, be sure to check out leinsterrugby.ie. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all next month.